Welcome everybody. Welcome to the In My World podcast, father and son podcast. As you can see, we've got a special guest here, Mr. Lockie. Lockie, you want to tell us who you are? You're a bit behind the scenes sometimes. You want to give us a bit of a rundown on who you are and what you do?
Yeah, I don't know where to start. Been with Leighton, working on 20 Talk since the start. I'm a painter outside of 20 Talk.
So you're one of the co-founders, correct?
One of the co-founders of 20 Talk, yep. Mostly do more stuff in the training side and leave the kind of media and this kind of stuff to Leights. But yeah, I'm a bit of an open book, so this is going to be interesting. I'm keen for you to open me up.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, thank you for the invitation. So what we thought we'd do today is, because we've been having guests and bits and pieces, we're going to talk to you separately, Lockie, later. But I just want to chat with you guys. Some people at home are probably thinking, what's it like behind the scenes running 20 Talk? So I want to go down that path a little bit. So I'm going to poke around and see what I can find. So tell me about what it's like running 20 Talk at the moment. I want to know what you enjoy the most, and I'll each of you to answer. What do you enjoy the most? And then we're going to get down a little more of a tricky path.
Okay, ooh, interesting. Well, yeah, hello everyone. It's nice to be on the other side of the seat for a change.
Yeah.
It's been a while since episode 1, which been, what are we up now? Episode 16?
Yeah.
It was episode 1 when I
No,
first
this is
had a
about
chat.
18, I think.
Okay, well, yeah. Somewhere around there. I think for me, one of the most important, or the things I enjoy most about 20 Talk is having the creative freedom to help people through business and through technology and media, and being able to use my, the creative part of my brain and to actually explore new ways to help young people.
Tell me about this creative part of your brain.
Well, I've always been, kind of creative in terms of liking art or just trying new interesting ideas, but I've always been a big believer I've always been interested in business, and to me, linking business with creativity was really, impactful way to help a lot of people. And I think from the very early days, we recognize that this is a really big issue. And there's a lot of young people kind of struggling, and it requires a bit of an innovative approach, something that uses media, uses technology, something's a bit different. So, having the opportunity and the resources now to go, hey, I've got this idea, let's try it, and it's actually possible. That's, to me, it's like makes me feel alive.
Yeah,
so,
that's good.
That's me.
What about you, Lockie?
It's funny when you said, the creative side, that's definitely Leighton's. I'm a painter, but I'm not a creative person at all.
Yep.
But there's something deep and innate inside me that just likes getting shit done, and I really like ticking boxes and following a process. Some would definitely say, even myself would definitely say too much sometimes, and I'm gonna probably tap into that a little bit in one of the next episodes in this podcast. But for me, I like doing stuff that makes a difference, and I think the 20 Talk is making a difference. And it was funny when you said, how do we feel right now? What's going on in 20 Talk right now? So much.
Yeah, so we'll get to that. So, Lockie, you're obviously, having known you since you're a young teenager, grovelling around probably in my fridge.
For food, not beers.
Yeah, that's right. So there's talking about you're good at getting stuff done, but what about interaction with our audience? How do you find that?
Well, my interaction with the audience is probably a little bit different to you, because a lot of your stuff's kind of the media stuff, and a lot of my interaction with the audience is from the training sessions. Yeah. So it's a little bit, it's kind of more personal in a sense. Yeah. And when you're doing 8 hours of mental health first aid training with someone, everyone in the group, you're really getting to know these people, and you're also facilitating connections between everyone else in the group as well. Yeah. So I feel pretty lucky to be able to be in that environment.
So you've done a fair bit of speaking as well, haven't you? At schools and
a little bit of speaking at schools, a lot of speaking at universities, a few little keynote speeches and stuff like that. But
big shot,
not a big shot at all.
So he's available for keynote addresses. By the way.
Definitely available. Because here at 20 Talk, we don't know how to say no.
Yeah, that's right.
But a lot of speaking. And I feel like my interpersonal skills are all right. I hope. But Doesn't say that you still don't get nervous.
Good. So while we're with you, Lockie, tell me about what do you find the most challenging
part of 20 Talk?
About your role and what you do, particularly in this environment where it's a pretty heavy environment, right?
If I was to be completely honest.
I want you to be completely honest.
I know you do. The most challenging thing that I feel, I'm not sure if this resonates with you, but I got a feeling it might, is feeling like I'm not doing enough.
Yeah, right.
And feeling like I'm not spending my time wisely at work. I'm not getting enough done. Yeah, feeling like I'm not holding up kind of my part of kind of our shared, not agreement. Yeah, there's always a sense of guilt that I'm not doing enough.
Is that because there's just so much to do? There's so many opportunities, or
I don't know really what it is. I think it's definitely something inside of me that definitely have done a lot of work with the counsellor and still doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, having a lot on the plate probably doesn't help, or probably does help. I don't know.
It's sometimes that's a healthy tension, isn't it? Because it can keep us accountable, particularly when you're running a lot on your own.
Yeah.
So there is a tension that's actually a healthy tension there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what about for you? Tell me about what's probably the most challenging for you.
For me, it's always been managing burnout and managing stress. I've had 2 bouts of burnout in the last 2 years, and have a tendency to kind of lean into working too much. We have so many opportunities here at 20 Talk with businesses, with community members, with individuals, with interviews and collaborations. It's, there's 15 new ones on your desk every morning.
Yeah.
And a lot of people out there wanting help, and the resources aren't out there. And when you kind of offer that olive branch of opportunity, and both Lockie and myself are quite empathetic people in that we want to help people, it's when all of this comes crashing down, and you can't help everyone, and you actually in tune affect your own mental health. That's the most troubling thing. So it's about juggling. And for me, the start of this year, I've started boxing. I'm training for some boxing event later on in the year.
Yeah.
I'm doing about 5 trainings per week, and that's actually been my savior. By doing all this extra fitness, I'm actually able to handle a lot more, and my nervous system feels a lot more regulated.
So, because you've talked about this little burnout discovery you've had, which is probably jacked up on over a period of years, would you say that, obviously you're the CEO of 20 Talk, would you say that you're starting to learn a lesson there?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's this discovery of exercise. We all hear it, right? Exercise is important. But after doing, intense exercise over a course of a week and noticing that I can actually handle so much more and not get burnt out or stressed, that was a superpower.
Yeah, that's good.
And that's something I'm going to take on moving forward.
Yeah.
And then when you start looking at other kind of CEOs, executive positions, you notice that a lot of them actually do pretty intense exercise. So it is a requirement.
Well, Leighton, I must say I was impressed by you the other day when there was a 0.5 of a metre swell and it was perfect opportunity for a dive. And I said, the boat's going, you want to come? And you said, no, I need to rest.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God, what's going on with that boy?
You're like, damn it, but I am proud of him. I am proud of him.
But okay. I am taking a sick day off work tomorrow to go diving, but don't tell anyone.
Well, lucky it's Friday. Saturday. Okay, so let's talk about some of the major obstacles that you guys are facing at the moment for 20 Talk. Let's talk about obstacles, real life obstacles. What's currently on your windscreen?
On the windscreen, we spent probably 18 months of really hard time building this course called Mental Health Maintenance.
18 months of hard time.
Writing, interviewing people, getting evidence, the whole thing. And we feel like we've built this incredible product, which is a 1-day training course which teaches people how to take charge of their own personal well-being. Now that we've created that, it's about trying to get that out to as many people as possible and getting people to believe in it, because it's new. No one really knows how good it is. And so we need people to fund it for starters, and we need to get people sitting down, bums and seats, actually doing this training. We know it's incredible, but it's our ability to communicate it to the audience and to funders, which has been a bit of a challenge.
Okay, so you've had a lot on. Are you currently in the stage of taking a breath from the developmental, it's good to go, you're taking a breath, or you're starting the launch now? What are you doing?
I'll let Lockie.
Lockie, this is your area of training.
I feel like we're launching.
Yeah, we're launching.
Okay.
Send it.
Yeah. No, I mean, like in an ideal world, it would be nice to have a little break now for you and me to take a few weeks off and relax after spending 18 months on this. But it's not an ideal world, and there's people out there that need training, and there's interest from different organisations, and there's a want from us, and we've had a little bit of funding come in, and we're excited. We want to stick this on the road and see how it runs.
Okay, so Lockie, give me a 2-minute overview, or give our audience a 2-minute overview of what this mental health maintenance is. It sitting around with guitars, kumbaya, or what's the...
it's where you go to the park and high five each other for a whole Saturday.
Build your own kombucha. No, so mental health maintenance is a little bit of a different course. It's not really mental health. It's about how do we get someone who's okay right now, and how do we build them up and get them thriving and waking up every day going really excited for life. How do we get people ready so that when something does happen, not necessarily a mental illness, but when they have a few bad days in a row, how do we give them something that they can sit down, have a journal, look at this thing, do a bit of analysis on themselves, and go, all right, here's a few areas that I can work on right now that is going to actually have a big impact on my life. And it came from that time that you were driving your car, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I was just driving my car one day, and we learn all this great stuff about mental illness through mental health first aid, which is incredible. I was just driving, and you notice that when I was driving, my head was really foggy, and I was just having a bit of poor well-being day.
Yeah.
And in that moment, I was like, well, what's actually going to help me right now? What's something that would be very valuable and useful for me to do? And so the idea was we wanted to design this course around, if you're feeling like you've got poor well-being, what's something actionable I could actually do when you are feeling crap? It's not just for when you're feeling good.
Okay.
And so what we focus on is 12 dimensions of well-being. So to name a few of them, I'm not going to get them all 100%. Sleep, diet, exercise, breathing. We've got relationships, emotions,
spirituality, finance, intellectual, environment.
And then we've got escapism as well. So we're looking phone use, drug and alcohol use. Yeah.
So it's a good overview.
Porn addiction.
And it's got some diagnostic tools in it, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Like for your self-diagnostic tools.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Well, when you're feeling in that crap moment, you go to this diagnostic tool, which is a wheel of life. So you do a little analysis. What am I lacking? And that one you're lowest on, you start working on. So we give people tools and then the education to kind of work forward from that.
So it's how long is the course? Is it 6 hours? Is it?
Well, it's a day. It depends. I mean, the length of the course always depends on how long the students want to take for lunch, is what I say. Yeah. Everything kind of runs from about 9 o'clock and everything finishes around 3 o'clock. We've been part of, and I've heard of courses that start at 7 and don't finish until 6 o'clock at night.
Yeah. And
you know that everyone just checks out by about 1 or 2. So we try and keep it as short as we can hold people's attention, but use as much time as we need to actually give people the information.
So I work in the corporate space, work with managers and stuff like this. Is this a course that you would say to a manager that may be listening, I want to do something for my staff, just not quite sure what it is?
Only if they cared for their staff. But like genuinely cared for your staff. I mean, I think there's a lot of talk out there about people that, they don't want their companies just to tick a box. And I think that doing a course like this, it provides a genuine benefit to your staff, not just in the workplace, but when they go home. And it's
about building capability of the people.
100%.
Not just about suicidal ideation.
Yeah, and also in a very relatable way.
Yeah, okay.
We spent time making sure that it's fun, it's engaging.
Videos.
Exercises, getting out off your seat, and also making sure that the information we've given is the most palatable information distilled from all of the evidence that we gathered. So,
and from all of the experts that we've consulted with for the last 18 months from across Australia.
Yeah, so we've got 12 experts across all of these different dimensions that we work with over a year to kind of build this course.
And from what I understand, we had some businesses actually support us to actually fund the research for this, which was about, is it $80,000 or something like that?
60.
60 to get. So it is a really solid evidence-based course. So really, who would they, Lockie, if someone wanted to reach out?
Hello at 20talk.com.au.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Send us an email.
All right, that's good.
Find us on Instagram.
Yeah, so we want to be good to just touch base with you at some stage, Lockie, in the future. Just let us know how things are going.
Sure.
That'd be really good. Now, I want to talk a little bit about, I understand there's been a lot of young ladies and middle-aged ladies who have been getting together and doing a bit of fundraising, I hear, Leighton. You want to tell me about that?
Yeah, so about 3 years ago, we actually sat down with the Stevens Family Foundation. So it's just a small foundation based out of Trigg in Perth.
Yep.
And we met their family, and Ange, who heads up that, a few years down the track, she said she wants to put on a bit of a love lunch. And we were like, okay, that sounds great. What's a love lunch? And pretty much what she's done over the last few years is every 2 years she'll get a whole bunch of her friends together, and what they'll do is they'll get lots of gifts, they'll get lots of donations, and they'll run this little community event for a charity, and they usually raise a bit of money. So in the last few years, I think she raised 10,000, 60,000, and now with 20 Talk, a few weeks ago, she raised $100,000 in North Beach, which is where we started at 20 Talk. So 250 mums.
And there was also young, there was also a young crew there.
Yeah, women, and they all just got really behind 20 Talk. We presented what we do at 20 Talk, and they all loved it and really just supported us. So it was incredible.
So it wasn't really a small event, was it? It was huge.
No, it was a massive undertaking. 100%.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that Ange, I know that Ange, every time she does it, she says, "Oh, that was big. I don't know if I want to do this again." And she continues to back it up. And yeah, this event was definitely one of the best events I've ever been to. And that's the same kind of sentiment that we're hearing from everyone that came along.
Well, I there was a point at, I think, about 5 o'clock where husbands and partners were allowed to come along. So that was pretty cool. And the vibe was literally amazing. So well done to Ange and her team. That was such a good event. And
100% it was.
It was so good to see so many people from around there, because they knew that whole program, 20 Talk, was born out of that area. So it was really good. So tell me, moving forward, what's happening in the next, say, 12 months? What are you looking at? What are some of the big things you're looking at? We've got Mitch, who's running for us probably as we speak right now, doing the 60 marathons. We've just had the Love Lunch. What else we've already talked, Leighton, about the
documentary?
No, not the. Oh, actually, I wanted to. Yeah, tell me about the documentary. Where we've actually had a few viewings of that, the launch of that. But for people who want to see it, how are we going to be able to see it?
I don't even think people know what it is at this point.
Well, tell us about it.
So yeah, last year we actually got some money from a group called Bunker Bay 300 to go down to the southwest to, I guess, help out, because there's a lot of suicides down there. There's a lot of stress, and what we've done for the last few years is we'll come down and do a whole bunch of training, do a whole bunch of mental health interviews.
Yep.
Put up a whole bunch of banners, maybe 40 or 50 of them. And we did that again this year, but we had a strong focus on interviewing professional surfers. So we interviewed 8 professional surfers, pretty big names. We've got Taj Burrow, Bronte McCauley, Jay Davies, Jerome Forrest, to name a few. And what we did was we interviewed them about their mental health experience, and we kind of dived into a bit about how dark it got for them, and a little bit about how they sought help. Put that all together, did a 45-minute documentary, and launched that down south for the World Surf League in Margaret River. And then we did one in Perth as well. And the feedback we've had was pretty powerful. It's
very powerful,
very emotional documentary. And a lot of time was put into it. But what we're seeing coming out of that is, because we've reached out to all these leaders, we're now seeing all of the young people who follow these leaders going, Taj is talking about this, Jay is talking about this. Now I can.
Yeah, that's good.
Which is exactly what we're trying to achieve at 20 Talk, is getting that word out there.
And I have seen that documentary, and it was very, very moving. In the first 2 minutes, I was quite emotional. Leighton, when is that going to be available, or how's that going to be available for general public?
Yeah. So we're releasing individual clips at the moment, one per week.
Yep.
Maybe in the next month we'll have the full documentary live on our YouTube. So
we're
probably
still
by the time you hear this, maybe have a check and it'll be up on the YouTube.
Yeah, it's really it's because it's only 40 minutes. It's a good sort of something that people could, even groups could watch together and have a 20-minute yarn about it after.
Yeah, definitely. That's what a few of my mates have said. They said we couldn't get down to the launch, but can you just flick it over to me and I'm going to watch it at mine tonight with a few mates.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, and that'd be a really good use of that, wouldn't it? Like,
yeah, 100%. No, definitely worth having a watch.
So what else is happening is, that's a lot, but is there anything else that's worthwhile people knowing about?
Yeah, I mean, what a lot of what we've talked about is, the Love Lunch and Mitch's Run, which is incredible, and the 20 Hours for 20 talk. All of these fundraisers, right? So big struggle for us at 20 Talk is how do we fund this? Because the government doesn't back us. It's the community and it's businesses. So what we kind of did was we bundled all of our fundraisers into one period of time. So we've done 3 fundraisers in a very short time, but now that's all done. And we can focus now on training up, shitloads of people.
Yep.
We can focus on scaling up our media. We've got a trip booked to Kalgoorlie. We've got a trip booked to Esperance and one to Exmouth.
So we're going regional, yeah?
Yeah, doing some regional stuff.
Good.
And that's both training and that's media as well. Was also, talks of us scaling up our university placement. So we trained up 100 students at Notre Dame this semester. The next semester we want to train up 300.
So we got a lot on our plate. So there's a lot starting to happen, Lockie, there.
Always.
Yeah.
That's how we like it.
Yeah, so that's really exciting. So it sounds like the community have really got behind you. Obviously, it was in the newspaper, double page spread in Sunday Times the other day. You two gentlemen looking striking. So there's a lot of momentum around at the moment.
Definitely.
And it's really good to see the community getting behind us and really pushing on. So, so it sounds fantastic. We're going to touch base with you at probably some stage soon. But thanks very much for coming in. It's good to have a yarn.
No worries.
And to get a bit of an update.
Beautiful.
Thanks for the update.
Thanks for
welcoming
welcoming
you.
me.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later.
Shut up.